So joining us now is one of our excellent analysts, John McLaughlin. He works for Donald Trump. He polls for the president and for Republicans, and he is in upstate New York. Okay, Margaret Hoover. She says Republicans like you are very worried about this. Did you tell Margaret Hoover you were worried? Do you know anybody polling for Donald Trump that might have told her that?
No, but her husband's running for Congress in New York 1. He's probably going to lose tomorrow.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with it. This guy's name is John Avlon. He used to work for CNN. He's a far left grifter, in my opinion. Okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with it. Hoover went on and said, the Republicans are telling me, those in the know, you're in the know. You are the no guy. You're the pollster. Okay. Now I want to get this clear. Did you tell Hoover or anyone that you were nervous about this election?
No, the early voting's going very well. It's precisely the opposite of what she said. I'm just saying
that's all I want. That's all I want. So the reason I'm doing this is to show the blatant dishonesty that is going around. Okay. So, you want to make a prediction or you want to put things into perspective? What do you want to do? I'm letting you have the floor.
I'm working my butt off to prove your prediction right, because the early voting, the early voting in states like Arizona and North Carolina for the first time in history, and also in Nevada or North Carolina, Arizona, those states, Republicans have come out heavier than the Democrats. It was first time in history by a point Republicans did that in North Carolina. So, and most of the votes are cast in those states. Now, you still have Michigan and Wisconsin, where they still have a heavy mail-in ballot that's favored to the Democrats, but far less than it was 4 years ago, and the same in Pennsylvania. So it's kind of cliche, but if we have a good turnout tomorrow, we're going to win this, and Donald Trump will will be the president.
All right. So how confident are you? I think the heavy turnout on the Trump end is a lock, because the MAGA people, and it's personal now. I don't think the minority voters who might ordinarily go for Harris are going to turn out as much as they did 4 years ago, but the Trump people are certainly mobilized. So let's assume that happens. 90% sure, 80% sure. Where are you?
Well, I think tomorrow, if that happens, it's very high certainty. But what I'm saying to you is, you're exactly right. The Trump people are more mobilized.
Yeah.
And so the difference is the lack of enthusiasm for Harris. If you're an undecided voter tomorrow, go to the supermarket before you vote. It's like
right. And you don't have to vote for president. This is in both situations, because right. The last poll said 60%, and this is my message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com today. 60% of voters don't like either of them. So you don't have to vote for either of them, just vote down a ticket.
Right.
Now,
but you do have to vote. You have to vote. You got to vote for the president.
If you're a patriot, you love your country, you got to show up, but you don't have to vote if you don't like either of them.
Right.
Now, you don't do specific down market senatorial polling, do you?
Yes, we've been polling for David McCormick and for Carrie Lake. My brother Jim, who's my partner in the firm, polled for them.
Okay. So it's if Harris wins, what are the odds that the Republicans control the Senate, take the Senate?
The Republicans are going to take the Senate because West Virginia, Montana, and Ohio are already going Republican.
Sherrod Brown's going to lose in Ohio? You sure about that?
Pretty sure, yes. And if Donald Trump wins, as we should, if there's a good turnout tomorrow, we will bring in more senators, whether it's Dave McCormick, who's running very well in Pennsylvania. You've got Eric Hovde in Wisconsin, and you've got Mike Rogers in Michigan. And the Democrats were the ones a couple of weeks ago leaking the polls that Trump was ahead in those states. Kamala Harris spent all day yesterday in Michigan because she's worried about losing Michigan. So, and then if Trump wins decisively in Nevada and in Arizona, he could bring in Carrie Lake and also Sam Brown. So it's kind of like a Ronald Reagan. Those of us who are old enough to remember 1980, when we voted for Reagan, got to vote for Al D'Amato for Senate. We got to vote for, they brought
Yeah,
Reagan
the coat, they call them coattails. Final question for you. The mantra, I follow the media closer than anybody follows the media, I think, because I understand who's running it. I know most of these people. I know what they're doing. Okay? So the close in the television media, and I want to get your personal feeling on that, is that Kamala Harris's late-minute surge. All right, that you can just put on any network news, and that's what you saw. Even the Wall Street Journal, which the editorial page leans right, but the news pages lean left. You know what they had on page 2 today? The Proud Boys are supporting Donald Trump. What are there, 9 Proud Boys in this country? I don't know any Proud Boy. I don't know where they are. Couldn't find them. Okay, but there's a big headline: Proud Boys, and they're fascists. These guys. Okay, that was what the Wall Street Journal put at the top of their news cycle. So you can see, how they're trying to manipulate the vote. Number one, does any of that matter? And number two, does it offend you, John McLaughlin?
Yes, it's offensive, being called fascist, being called garbage. That's offensive. And it motivates our voters to get out. A week ago, I spoke to President Trump and I said to him, at this point, Mitt Romney was ahead by a point. And then he ignored New York and New Jersey when Hurricane Sandy hit, and he lost his lead on Sunday, Monday night to Obama in the polls by a point, and he had to lose him by 4 points. And Donald Trump's line to me was, "I'm not Mitt Romney." He is busting his butt. As you know,
no doubt.
There'll be more states and more rallies than Harris. And
Right.
our voters are motivated. And we disregard the radical press because the liberal press has no credibility. The Media Research Center said they have 85% negative coverage of Trump and 79% positive coverage of Harris. So
yeah, it's built in, and I hope there will be exit polling questions on it. All right, John, we really appreciate it. We'll get you back next week, I hope, for a post-mortem, and it's very kind of you, as I said, to help us out all throughout this election. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on X. Look for @Bill O'Reilly.